Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night because your dog is pacing heavily at the foot of your bed? Or maybe your cat is sitting hunched over in the corner of the bathroom, refusing to move, and they completely skipped their dinner tonight? Then you look at them and your stomach immediately drops. They're acting so sluggish. They just don't look right. Panic starts to set in. Do you wait until the morning? Or do you put them in the car right now and rush to the 24-hour emergency vet clinic? We all know what happens when you pull into the parking lot of the ER. Just walking through those sliding glass doors at 2 a.m. immediately incurs a $200 to $400 triage fee before a veterinarian even looks at your pet. By the time they do some blood work and run a few x-rays, you are sitting there holding an estimate for $3,000. As a loving pet parent, you will pay anything to keep your best friend safe. But the heartbreak happens when the vet comes back out an hour later, hands you a perfectly healthy pet, and says, "They just had a minor tummy ache. They are completely fine." You are relieved, yes, but you are also $3,000 poorer for something that could have easily waited for your regular, affordable vet the next morning. What if I told you that you never have to play that agonizing guessing game again? What if I told you there is a simple, $1 item you can buy at any local pharmacy that acts as the ultimate emergency filter? A $1 secret that will tell you exactly when a hospital visit is a true matter of life or death, and when your pet is perfectly safe to stay tucked in bed with you at home. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tony Lee, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, you might know me from my videos talking about dog health. But I don't just treat dogs. My clinic is filled with incredible feline patients too. Because you guys asked for it, today we are officially building a bridge. Today we are doing a complete, massive masterclass for both dog and cat parents. I am going to share 4 incredible veterinary secrets with you today. We are going to talk about the $1 ER filter, the slippery throat medicine trick, the free bowl swap that cures chronic facial infections, and the ultimate kitchen first aid duo. Grab a notebook, take a deep breath, and let's save you thousands of dollars in unnecessary vet bills. But before we begin, here's a quick, important rule that I have to say. These secrets are designed to save you from panic-driven, unnecessary spending on minor issues. But let me be 100% clear. If your pet is severely injured, unresponsive, or you can tell a situation is rapidly getting out of hand, do not hesitate. Do not wait. You grab your keys and you go straight to your vet without a single second thought. Trust your gut. But for everything else, let's look at the data. Okay, let's start with chapter 1. We are tackling that 2 a.m. panic, and we are going to talk about hack number 1, the $1 kitchen thermometer. When you bring a sluggish, lethargic pet into the ER, what is the absolute very first thing the triage nurse does? They take your pet's internal temperature. In veterinary medicine, internal temperature is the ultimate indicator of whether an illness is acute, dangerous, and raging, or mild and easily manageable. I want you to go to any basic human pharmacy or grocery store and buy a cheap, simple, digital thermometer. I'm talking about the plastic ones that cost anywhere from $1 to $5. Do not ever buy an old-school glass mercury thermometer. If that breaks, it is a disaster. Just get a standard fast-read digital thermometer and put it in your pet first aid kit. Now we need to understand the medical science of your pet's body. Unlike humans, whose normal temperature is 98.6 degrees, dogs and cats naturally run much hotter. For both dogs and cats, their normal, healthy baseline temperature sits exactly between 101 degrees and 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 38.3 to 39.2 degrees Celsius. If it is the middle of the night, your pet feels terrible, they are totally lethargic, and they refuse their dinner, I want you to take their temperature. If the thermometer beeps and it says 101.5 degrees, I want you to let out a massive sigh of relief. You are in the wait and see zone. If their temperature is steady and normal, their body is absolutely not actively fighting off an acute, raging infection or a life-threatening systemic virus. They probably just ate something that upset their stomach, or they have a minor ache. That means you do not need to rush to the ER and spend $3,000 tonight. They are safe to sleep at home, and you can simply call your regular vet in the morning for a cheap, standard appointment. However, you must also know the go now zone. If that thermometer beeps and it spikes to 104 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, your pet is in the middle of a dangerous, severe fever or suffering from heat stroke. Conversely, if the thermometer drops below 99 degrees, this is arguably even more dangerous. A body temperature plummeting below 99 degrees indicates that your pet is going into severe clinical shock or hypothermia. If the thermometer reads 104 or 98, grab your keys. Put them in the car immediately. The emergency room fee is now 100% justified, and this simple $1 hack just gave you the data you needed to save their life. Now, I can hear you thinking, Dr. Tony, how on earth do I actually take their temperature at home without hurting them? It is very simple, and I am going to teach you how to do it for both species. Always keep a small jar of plain petroleum jelly, like Vaseline, next to your thermometer. For my dog owners, have your dog stand up, talk to them soothingly, give them a treat, and generously coat the silver tip of the thermometer in the Vaseline. Gently lift your dog's tail right at the base. You do not need to force it. Gently and smoothly insert the lubricated thermometer exactly 1 inch into the rectum. Just hold it there against the inner wall until it beeps. Pull it out, wipe it with a rubbing alcohol pad, and you have your medical answer. Now for my cat parents watching, I know, cats hate this even more than dogs do. A stressed cat is like trying to hold on to a tiny tornado of claws and teeth. But I have a brilliant veterinary secret for you. It is called the burrito method. Do not just grab your cat on the floor. Take a large, thick bathroom towel. Lay the towel flat on a table, place your cat in the middle, and wrap the towel very snugly around their entire body, folding the sides over their back, leaving only their head and their back end exposed. When a cat is snugly swaddled in a towel, the firm pressure naturally calms their nervous system, and it perfectly protects your hands and arms from getting scratched. You get the reading safely, unwrap the burrito, give them a treat, and let them go. Alright, so you made it to the regular vet the next morning, and the vet sends you home with a bottle of antibiotics. This brings us to Chapter 2, the slippery throat butter trick. Pilling a stubborn pet is one of the most stressful things you will ever do in your house. It breaks the bond you share. It causes immense stress. It results in bitten fingers, scratched arms, and watching your pet spit out a $5 pill onto the carpet to be ruined. Many owners rely on buying those squishy, commercial pill pocket treats from the pet store. But here is what usually happens. Your pet gets smart. They chew the squishy treat, they taste the incredibly bitter, horrible medicine hiding inside, they spit it out, and now they will never trust a pill pocket ever again. Now let's talk about the biology of what is actually happening. When your pet is stressed out because you are holding their mouth open, their body stops producing saliva. Their throat, or esophagus, becomes bone dry. When you throw a dry, chalky pill into a dry throat, it catches on the tissue. It sticks there, which immediately triggers their natural gag reflex, forcing them to spit it back up. If we want to pill them seamlessly, we have to bypass the taste buds entirely, and we must eliminate friction. We do this using cold, solid fat, specifically plain, unsalted butter or plain cream cheese from your fridge. Take the pill and roll it heavily in the cold butter or cream cheese until it is completely coated in a smooth, slick layer of fat. Fat completely masks the bitter chemical smell and taste of the medication. But more importantly, the butter creates zero friction. For my dog owners, stand over your dog. Take one hand and gently hold their upper muzzle, tilting their head back so their nose points up toward the ceiling. When you tilt a dog's head back, biology forces their lower jaw to naturally drop open without you having to pry it. Take the buttered pill, place it at the very, very back center of their tongue, close their mouth, keep their nose pointed up, and gently stroke the outside of their throat downward. The butter makes the pill completely frictionless. Gravity takes over, they are forced to swallow smoothly, and they won't even realize the pill went down. Now this trick is even more critical for cats. Forcing a dry pill down a cat's throat is incredibly dangerous. Feline esophagi are highly sensitive. If a dry, chalky pill gets stuck halfway down a cat's throat, the harsh chemicals in the pill can severely burn the tissue, causing esophageal strictures, which means their throat literally scars and narrows, requiring massive surgery. The butter trick is an absolute lifesaver here because it forces an instant, safe, smooth slide straight into the stomach. But wait, what if your cat is an absolute ninja and they are completely untouchable? You can't even open their mouth. Here is the ultimate feline behavioral hack. Take the pill, crush it up into a powder using the back of a spoon, and mix that powder into a sticky paste using butter or a tiny bit of wet food gravy. Take that sticky paste and smear it directly onto the top of your cat's front paw. Cats are obsessive, meticulous groomers. They absolutely cannot stand having something dirty or sticky on their beautiful, clean paws. The second you smear that medicine onto their paw, their uncontrollable grooming reflex kicks in. They will sit down and aggressively lick every single drop of that medicine right off their own paw, swallowing it perfectly without you ever having to open their mouth. All right, we've bypassed the ER and we got the pills down. Let's move to Chapter 3. Let's cure a chronic disease without a prescription. I call this the free bowl swap trick. I see pet owners spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year on medicated wipes, steroids, and antibiotics for chronic facial rashes. If your dog constantly has red, crusty bumps, missing hair, and oozing sores around their lips, or if your cat has a horribly inflamed chin covered in blackheads and bleeding sores, we need to look at what they are eating out of. The hidden culprit for chronic facial infections is almost always their plastic food and water bowls. Plastic is a porous, incredibly soft material. Every time you scrub that plastic bowl with a sponge in the sink, every time your dog's tooth hits it, and every time it goes through a dishwasher, it develops microscopic, invisible scratches across the entire surface. These tiny microscopic grooves become massive canyons for bacteria. They trap microscopic food particles, saliva, and moisture. Over just a few months, this creates a permanent, sticky bacterial biofilm embedded deep inside the plastic. Normal hand washing with dish soap cannot possibly reach deep enough to sanitize those microcanyons. You are creating a permanent, highly concentrated breeding ground for bacteria right exactly where your pet presses their most sensitive skin every single day. For my dog owners, this causes a condition called muzzle pyoderma. If you throw away your plastic bowls today and switch exclusively to gleaming, solid stainless steel or heavy ceramic bowls, you will often see those chronic red bumps and crusty lips completely vanish within 14 days without a single drop of antibiotics. Stainless steel does not scratch easily, so bacteria has absolutely nowhere to hide. And for my cat owners, this is doubly important. Cats suffer from an agonizing condition called feline acne. This is when their delicate chin literally breaks out in painful blackheads, scabs, and bleeding sores. Plastic bowls are the undisputed #1 cause of feline acne. Throw the plastic away today. But when you buy a stainless steel bowl for your cat, there is a massive biological rule you must follow. The bowl must be incredibly shallow and wide. Why wide and shallow? Because cats suffer from a psychological condition called whisker fatigue. A cat's whiskers are not just long hairs. They are complex sensory organs packed with highly sensitive nerve endings. They use them to hunt and detect changes in air pressure. If you feed your cat out of a deep, narrow bowl, their highly sensitive whiskers are forced to constantly brush and crash against the cold metal sides of the bowl every time they take a bite of food. Over a few minutes, this causes massive sensory overload. It is incredibly painful and exhausting for their brain. This is why you will see a cat take a piece of food out of the bowl with their mouth, drop it on the floor, and eat it off the floor instead. Buy them a wide, flat, shallow stainless steel bowl where their whiskers can spread out beautifully without touching the sides. You will cure their feline acne and cure their mealtime anxiety, all in one free swap. Wow, we are covering so much ground. You guys are doing an amazing job. Let's bring this masterclass home with Chapter 4, the Kitchen First Aid Duo. Let's talk about the minor accidents that cause massive, unnecessary panic in the household. We have all been there. You decide to clip your dog or cat's nails at home. They jerk their paw at the last second and snap. You clip the nail just a little bit too short and you hit the blood vessel inside, called the quick. Because feet are highly vascular, it bleeds instantly. Drops of bright red blood get on your hands, they step on the carpet, and suddenly it looks like a crime scene. Pet owners understandably panic, wrap the foot in a towel, and race to the clinic, paying high bandaging and exam fees for a simple scrape that takes exactly 60 seconds to fix at home. Instead of panicking, I want you to go into your baking cabinet and grab plain cornstarch. In veterinary medicine, cornstarch acts as a mechanical hemostatic agent. Hemostatic means it stops bleeding. When a nail quick is exposed and bleeding, I want you to take a generous pinch of completely dry cornstarch powder, press it directly against the bleeding tip of the nail, and hold it firmly packed there for about 10 seconds. When the dry cornstarch touches the blood, it acts like a sponge. It rapidly absorbs all the liquid plasma out of the blood. What is left behind is a highly concentrated mass of platelets and clotting factors. The cornstarch literally forces the blood to clot and create a plug instantly. And unlike the chemical styptic powders you buy at the pet store, plain cornstarch has no chemical sting. It is painless, fast, and completely safe. Now, what about minor skin scrapes? Say your dog has a red, itchy patch from running through a bush, or your cat got a minor scratch from wrestling. We reach for the second half of the first aid duo, plain chamomile tea. If you've watched my other videos, you know I love chamomile. Chamomile tea isn't just for sleepy humans. It contains natural compounds called chamazoline and alpha-bisabolol. In clinical dermatology, these specific compounds possess highly proven anti-inflammatory and mild antimicrobial properties when applied topically to the skin. You just brew a cup of plain chamomile tea, leave the tea bag inside the cup, and put the whole cup into your refrigerator until it is completely cooled down. Do not ever put hot tea on your pet's skin. Once it is icy cold, take that soaked, cold tea bag and press it directly against your pet's minor skin scrape or itchy red patch as a cold compress. Hold it there for 2 minutes. It draws the heat out, kills surface bacteria gently, and acts as an immediate, holistic skin soother. And for my cat owners, this holistic tea trick isn't just a fun tip, it is a life-saving warning. When humans see a minor scrape on a cat, their first instinct is to go to the bathroom cabinet, pull out a tube of human antibiotic ointment like Neosporin or Polysporin, and rub it on the cat. Please, do not ever use triple antibiotic